you don't look it up. Always keep learning something, okay? I used to teach a long time ago an Indian Heritage program. And we did our best that all the kids, what did that Bush say or somebody, no child left behind. And we believed in that. No child was left behind. We had creative writing and poetry. And one little guy, it was his turn, he said, I can't. I said, oh yes you can. So I got up and I said, eagle was flying, and what did he see down there? Or something like that. So he wrote 2 lines, and I said, see, you can do it. And then, just one more story. Then I went to a special ed class, and the kid said, get me out of here, Mrs. Two. He didn't belong there. I ran to the principal and said, he doesn't belong in that class. What doesn't matter if you and the teachers here? I heard 30% of our students are put in special ed classes. I'd like to go to those schools and go to those principals and say, get them out of there. Boy, did I have enough sleep or what? And our ancestors always face the east. Jay says this is the east, so I'm going to face this way. Okay? And I'm saying in my language, it is Unanga. If you want to someone we thank the Duwamish people for letting us speak on their land. I mean, Laura Lockwood, Awasa Mila, not Laura and her work children. I mean, when Papa K, Lagas La Vida Ho, I mean, what Manana Bad and Lekan Yusumi Lockwood, Kayu Dalton, Kamishit, Tukulemid, Ulimid, I mean, Kano, Tara, help us to be strong, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Help the mamas and daddies and the children to learn all they can to survive in a very difficult world. Thank you.
Well, I invited Jay, he's a board member here at United Indians, and so right now Kim, I think you could go out now.
And I'm Max Papanita with Wasum Manduwigo Taputni Duwamish. My name is Jay Hollingsworth, West Wind Wolf of the Mohegan Tribe of Connecticut. And we serve homage to the Creator. Manduwigo is the Creator is good. And Taputni is thank you, Duwamish, for allowing us to be here. So I want to welcome you all here because you represent one of our primary missions at the Daybreak Star Indian Cultural Center, United Indians of all Tribes, is education. So congratulations to those who are graduating or being promoted today. And thank you, parents, because these kids could not do it without you. So hopefully you find support and people like Laura and others who can help you through your program, and maybe some of our folks can do. We have a home visiting program here at United Indians, so maybe there's some help to have there as well. It's called Inamaka. So contact us if you need some help there. I'm glad our new Salmon Bake house, I think it's about a year old now, is getting well used again, and will continue to be in the future. A month from now, we're having a powwow. We welcome you all to please come out and enjoy the powwow up here. We didn't have one last year, much to community's, it's a sad day when that decision came down. I've been on the board for 15 months and look forward to rebuilding the programs here. We, on Sunday, will be celebrating our Head Start program after 27 years. We have lost that program. The federal government chose not to fund us again. So that's an issue. But with that, my thought goes to what can we create for ourselves? Why don't we have a Native program for Native people run by Native? And there's a lot of people, Laura Whitebear is one of many, who understand and know what curriculum is and what it takes to run a school. So why can't we do the same? I don't know if it'd be housed here. Maybe it might be better housed out in the neighborhood where the majority of Native people's families are. But that's something that I'm looking forward in the future. So thank you all for being here. Congratulations. School year is ended. It's summertime, kids. Woo-hoo. Thank you very much. Thank you, Laura.
My brother Lonnie. But the reason why he's so special, not only because he's my older brother, but because he wrote this wonderful book, The Center That You're In. I don't know how many of you have read his book, but I asked him to be here to speak among all of you, and I'm going to give each one of you a raffle ticket, and there'll be one winner that'll take home that one book that he has signed. So I'm going to but I want to welcome all of you. This is for our year-end celebration for the Edmond School District, Indian Education, and will all of those of you who are with the Edmond School District raise your hand so people can see you. Great, welcome. And I understand that traffic is really horrible, so there will be people that will be joining us, but because my brother likes things to be on time, I'm going to time to talk, and then we'll eat, and then let's get back in a circle and let's get to know one another and introduce each other, kind of talk about what you're doing. So, because this is really a community event, I'd like you to get to know each other. Some of you have United Indians of All Tribes Foundation stories. Some of you are new to the area. It'd be nice to welcome you. But this is the house that Bernie Whitebear built, and Abe Johnny always talks about that. He does it so well. And this house is for the urban Indians, and that is us. And there's very few things that's for us. So it's so important that we not lose this foundation. So I hope that we can come together as a community and not be so fragmented, so that we can not lose this this foundation, because there is not going to be anything for urban Indians if we lose this. We're going to really be sorry if we don't do something and just let things, happen. We really have to be strategic and make sure that this center stays United Indians of All Tribes Foundation. So I'm going to leave it to you, Lonnie, and talk about talk about it.
I don't know how many of you know Bernie Whitebear, the old timer, have a cure, but he and several hundred Indians from different tribes raided areas here when the army was still here, and he found out that the city of Seattle was going to give all of the property for a park, but Bernie felt that, and not only Bernie, but other Indians felt that it was time some of the land that was taken from us was given back. So they raided this area here in, I think it was March 8th of 1970. And they even had Indians out there guarding the gates to make sure that the city of Seattle knew that the Indian community was serious about treating the land, and they would not leave that front gate until that happened. And at first it was very difficult. A lot of white people that live in the Magnolia area didn't like Indians around. And there's a certain amount of prejudice, even the Seattle police was against Indians, guarding the gate, the main gate. But the Indians continued to mandate, well, Bernie and a number of others dealt with the city of Seattle, Mayor Owen at that time, and then finally made headroads down in Olympia with some of the people down in Olympia, and finally he got help from Washington, D.C. And I remember that Scoop Jackson was one of the senators, and at first Bernie approached him, and Scoop wanted Bernie to go to a channel of kind of good help to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, but Bernie knew that the Bureau of Indian Affairs seldom helped Indians themselves. It had a very poor track record of helping Indians since they were going into business back in 1800. So Bernie finally told Scoop, Senator Jackson, that he didn't want to deal with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, but wanted help from him, and then at that time, Warren Magnuson, who was the other senator representing the state of Washington, helped him. And eventually they came around and did. And because of that, Bernie put trees on the land so that the city of Seattle could not get the land until they dealt with the Indians. And that was the beginning of the reality here for having a foothold out here. And finally, Bernie got this land, all of this, 20 acres, for about 99 years. Now, this is back in 1970, 71. So anyway, time went on, and many programs were founded and worked at, and the number of people working with United Indians had exceeded 100 people. And there are many programs. Head Start was one of the main ones. There was acreage up near Crown Hill that dealt with, I can't remember the name of that field, was it Wapachea? Anyone know? Laura, was that Wapachea that dealt with Indian youth that needed help?
Yes, Wapachea.
Okay. That was set up. And then other programs, alcoholism was dealt with. And it's a very successful endeavor for all these Indians here. In 1997, Bernie contacted colon cancer, and all of us here knew that time was short for him. And he fought it bravely, and he always had a sense of humor about it. He was never afraid of dying. And several meetings occurred. Here's the Daybreak Center, but also in other places downtown. And but anyway, I think when was it? July 19th, 60th, he finally passed away. And so, but during that time, I spent time with my other brothers and sisters taking care of Bernie while he was dying. And someone told me that someone should write a book about Bernie Whitebear because of all the things he did. And at that time, that was the last thing on my mind, and I never even thought about a book being written about him. And then people continued to talk to me about this and said that someone's got to write a book because he's done more for Indians than probably any other Indian in America. And so finally I realized that the only person that could write a complete book about him would be me, because I knew his childhood, and I knew what we went through on the Walker Reservation trying to just survive. But anyway, I knew the whole story. And so I started, while I was taking care of Bernie, working on a computer, or I take that back, I was working on, I worked on a computer. Once I get all the ideas set together, I worked on a computer and started to write the book. I'd written another book prior to that. It was called White Grizzly Bear's Legacy, and that was the first book, and then it was published and came out in 2002. Bernie's book was the second book, and that came out only in 2006. And it proved to be a pretty popular book. Bernie knew a lot of people. He knew a lot of Indians, you know, throughout the country, and he knew a lot of politicians too. One of his dear friends was Senator Dan Inouye, who I think has done more for Indians than any person I can think of in the last century. You know. Dan Inouye died not too long ago, but he was very helpful, and I think he was responsible pretty much for setting up our Indian Museum in Washington, D.C. I think he had a lot to do with the casino, you know. And so it's very important to have a person of that stature back in D.C. who you could rely upon and get help from. And anyway, when Bernie died and they had his memorial done, where was that memorial? Down at the convention center down in Seattle. Dan Inouye flew into Des Moines, Canada, and I thought that was quite interesting because not only was Dan Inouye, I think, one of the greatest senators who ever lived, but I think he was also the nation's greatest hero in World War II. He won almost all the medals he could win, and finally, after 50 years, he finally received the Medal of Honor, which is the highest award you can get in combat. And the reason it took over 50 years to get it is because he's Japanese, and a lot of white people have trouble, you know, recognizing him as a hero. But anyway, I just wanted to say, the last book, this is the book I'm talking about. This is a paperback, all the hardback sold within a couple of months. It's published down in Arizona. And Bernie Whitehair and the Urban Indians Quest for Justice. So anyway, I'll give it to Laura. And I hope you read it because I think you can learn a lot about not only Bernie Whitehair, but what a lot of Indians went through living on reservations and trying to survive and finally making a mark for themselves. Thank you.
And I wanted to introduce my sister Teresa. Can you raise your hand? I'm really glad that my family